I could help these guys anti-bitter.
Right now.
The standard of truth has been erected.
Stop playing defense.
You're absolutely right.
No unhallowed hand can stop the broadcast.
That is the way that a lot of Latter-day Saints do apologetics.
Cancel culture rages and mobs combine.
We actually had one of the protesters over for dinner.
What?
But the truth of God will go forth boldly
These people are lying to you. They do not care about you.
until it has reached every television, sounded in every iPhone, and reached every person. This signal will continue to go forth. Here we defend truth. Here we denounce deception. Here we are created in the image of God. Our detractors call us crazy, but our friends call us.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ward Radio live stream. I'm your host, Cardin Ellis. And today I'm joined in the studio by a super stellar cast. I'm joined by Brittany the Shadow. How's it going, Brittany?
What's up?
And actually, our two lovely children, 5 minutes before bedtime, we got Ryder and Elizabeth. What up? Is this your first live stream, geeks? Yeah? Okay, cool. I guess that's a yes, So anyway, we got a really fun topic today. Backed by popular demand is the polka dot shirt. Brittany, you get all the credit for that. Mm-hmm. When you dress me, the audience likes it. When I dress you, the audience likes it as well. Kind of. So anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to be talking a little bit about boy versus girl math. Probably the funniest TikTok trend I have seen since the Roman Empire. And
what is your Roman Empire? Is it in fact the Roman Empire?
What you mean? How often do I think about the Roman Empire, or what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, girls, it's like, what's your Roman Empire? And everyone's talking about Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift. That's my Roman Empire. So your Roman Empire, is it legit the Roman Empire? Do you think about the Roman Empire, or do you have something else that preoccupies your thinking?
It's actually interesting you say that today, because I saw a clip from a movie called The Young Messiah that was just very well done and beautiful. And the young Jesus ends up curing a blind man. And then he sees this Roman centurion. He says, you were there in Bethlehem and you saved me, or something. It was a very touching and beautiful scene. I don't know if they added extra orchestral score or something, but it was very well done. And I remember thinking, what would have been like to be a centurion in the Roman Empire in Israel when Jesus was there?
That's what occupies your thoughts?
That's what I was literally thinking. What would it be like to be a centurion? And then I thought, we need to do a modern retelling. Actually, I'm not even going to tell you what the modern retelling is, because I got a script idea to be done in modern times based upon a story that happened during the Roman Empire. And so anyway, yeah, that's what I was literally thinking about the Roman Empire today.
Okay.
So, hey, Geeks, you got to finish zipping up your onesie. And hey, can you show them how it glows?
Oh,
what do you like about your onesie?
We gotta turn off the lights then.
Yeah, we can't, but that's you gotta lift up your arms, Geeks.
My Jeremy is glow in the dark.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
Ooh,
that's
skeleton.
right. So glow in the dark onesies. That's our children's Roman Empire.
PJs.
Yes, exactly, PJs. So yeah, I don't know. I thought about the Roman Empire today. I've thought about it a lot previously. But yeah, I wouldn't say it occupies my thoughts. Typewriters occupy my thoughts a lot now. I'm restoring several typewriters.
Oh, yes.
We all know.
Yes, we all know.
Yes, this
smells like WD-40 up in there.
Definitely. And spray
Oh,
paint.
geez, Geek. That was really loud. I'm going to have to bust you down a little bit, Geeks. So anyway, yes, our house does not smell like WD-40. It's
not to you.
Actually WD-40 degreaser. WD-40 it's WD-40 brand degreaser.
I'm not a boy. I don't know. You're spraying stuff and it's smelly.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So anyway, we're going to start things out today. It's going to be really fun. We're going to let you know what this boy-girl math thing is. Before we do, there's a super chat. Brittany, could you keep us to the chats?
There's actually two. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's just start out with the super chats and we'll go right into the fun stuff.
Okay, Porter Rockwell Enjoyer. Hey, that's different from last time, right?
Yeah, last time it was Puerto Rockwell.
Oh, is this the same person or is it different? I don't know.
I think it's a different person.
Okay. It says, I love the sound of ward radio in the night. Ooh.
All right, dude. We're like the original, like Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who Wolfman Jack was? Do you guys remember that Wolfman Jack?
A different.
It's like an old school. Wolfman Jack was actually on American Graffiti, and he was this old, what's called a border bunker buster. A border blaster radio host that blast from a radio station 8 miles from the border in Mexico that could be heard all over North America, and people would listen to the top 40 music with like the voice of Wolfman Jack, and he was a super popular DJ. He was like the Ryan Seacrest of the 1960s, and he kind of talked like this, and his name was Wolfman Jack. And he's
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's. I figured you kind of like him. He was like an underground guy,
Like your
right?
voice.
So yeah, thanks.
Okay, ready for the next super chat?
Next super chat.
Stephen Diamond. He
Oh,
says,
ooh.
when the priesthood restoration site was dedicated, President Nelson gave a special blessing to protect it from basically everything. Felt God's protection.
Oh, really?
That's
Like basically
intriguing.
everything. What's the? Yeah, what extra blessings did it get? Like
Yeah.
from nuclear fallout, or like what?
He says basically everything.
Wow.
Also, can we just do a shout out to Cherish? She's legit in labor right now and is watching us.
Wait. Whoa.
Whoa.
There's a woman in
Whoa.
labor watching our show right now.
Yeah.
What the?
Do you know what
Yeah.
labor is? Elizabeth, do you know what labor is? No, it's when, the mom gives birth.
Okay,
And they're like screaming and in pain. It's crazy.
Okay, not that far, please.
Well, no,
Yeah.
maybe she has an epidural. She's fine. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Hope that epidural goes
Anyway,
great, girl.
Cherish, I believe in you. You got this. Can't wait to hear about it if you watch another program and let us know.
Oh my gosh. Cherish gets something. Remember when we talked about how we're going to start having giveaways? If somebody
Yeah.
makes a savage comment, we're going to have like a t-shirt.
You should make like a baby t-shirt or like a baby onesie that says
A
like
Ward Radio
future Ward Radio subscriber or
No.
something.
I'm getting a Ward Radio onesie made.
We're doing it.
I'm getting a Ward Radio onesie made for a new baby. It's going to be awesome. So Cherish, by the way, Cherish. Oh, great idea from Snagger and Danny Gray. If Jonah Barnes were here, he would have suggested this. This will be a member of record. We haven't had a baby blessing yet in the Ward Radio family.
That's true.
So so everybody has to put a W in the chat. A W in the chat for Cherish,
You know what's
who
funny?
is giving birth right now. W for Cherish.
You know what's funny? This computer is still logged in under Jonah. So look, when I put a W, it says Jonah Barnes.
Okay. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
You should
I'm
start saying scandalous things that can be screenshotted and sent
should.
to his wife.
I should. I'm logged in as Jonah.
P.S. You met Jonah's wife and his lovely children recently.
I love Jonah's family.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Jonah
was
has a
that
great
like?
family. No, his wife is awesome. Very kind. They have 6 kids.
6.
And they are all like super well behaved and just awesome kids, super smart, super kind, super cute. Yeah, he's an awesome family. So
Yeah.
Jonah's a good dad. Charlotte's a good mom. They got it going on.
Yeah. What about your mom and dad? Are they pretty good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
She's like,
Elizabeth, what do you think about your mom and dad?
They're the best because they give me slime all the time.
Oh,
we did purchase you slime. Yes,
Yeah.
the key to a child's heart. By the way, good to see that some things don't change. Nickelodeon slime was available when I was a child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, so now we got to pull this up. I'm taking this out of the Discord right now. When did you first become... I've got several things that I want to share with you guys.
Oh, P.S. Cherish Huber in labor also sent us a super chat.
Woo.
No comment, just sent us some money. So thank you.
All
we
right.
should be sending you money.
Yeah. Yeah, you go, girl. So, anyway, where's this boy versus girl math? Did you put it in the
I
Discord?
put it in the Discord. There's 2 TikToks.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to do this one first. Yeah, I am absolutely loving this, and I think it's freaking hilarious. So here's the funny comments one that I'm pulling up first so we can get that ready. And then the second one is this one right here, the Said, or whatever. Here it is. Okay. So I've seen this all over TikTok, and I don't know if it's just because I'm late to the party or if it's a new trend, but I got to tell you, it's funny no matter what it is. So we're going to check this out. Oh, it just took my, hold on. I've got to put up the browser. Here we go. Boom shakalaka. I had a little technical
Okay, you're doing
difficulty
this
there.
one first?
Well, this is the girl math, right?
Yeah, this is girl math.
Okay, so this is what everybody's been talking about, and I have unironically heard the term boy math versus girl math in normal speech today. Before we go any farther, though, we would like to welcome to the Ward family. We've received the records for Alicia Brown. Welcome to the Telestial Kingdom, Alicia. All those in favor, please put a W in the chat for Alicia Brown. For Alicia. And what was that, Ryder? What were you doing? Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool new trend. Yeah, you got to show your sister how to make a W. So there we go. There's the W.
Yes.
Boom shakalaka. There you go. You got your own W from the chat. P.S. Gid Gadonut is hilarious. I don't know what you were before you were Gid Gadonut and what you changed your name to.
Or is it Gidgy?
No,
Gidgy
it's
donut?
Gid Gadonut, just like Gid Gadonai.
Oh, I see the 2D. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so Gid Gadonut, that is freaking hilarious, man. So Alicia Brown, welcome, and Gid Gadonut, you were already here, but you changed your name, so that's freaking hilarious. So anyway, for those of you who are wondering what girl math versus boy math is, we're about to show you, and I'm curious if this has any application to us as members of the church at large. So here we go. Girl versus boy math. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't have the audio.
And you got to
on.
start it over because she starts talking right away. There's like no intro. She
Yeah.
just gets right to it.
Okay, so here we go.
If I pay for something in cash, it's free. Okay? If I order something using the Starbucks app and I have money preloaded to the app and then I go order the drink, it's free.
No.
Okay? It's free. Got it. It's a free drink. Free drink. If I buy something at a store and I return it, so like the other week I bought a jacket from Zara, and now I have to return it tomorrow. When I return that, I'm actually making money.
What? My God.
Okay?
Ours is not.
Similarly, if I do that return and the store gives me store credit, yeah, it's just like free shopping. When I go back, I'm totally lost here. Okay, everything's free except for you get money back. Got it. If I go out for dinner with my friends, or they come over for dinner, and we order in, and I'm the one who pays for it, and then everyone sends me an e-transfer for their portion afterward, then yes, you make money. I actually profited, I promise. So that's girl math. That's girl math.
Dude,
I pay
okay,
for
so
something,
hold on a second. True or not true? Chat. True or not true?
True.
Okay.
I've definitely had all those thoughts.
Okay, so we're going to audit this really fast. We're going to audit this, what she said, really fast. Claim number one.
If I pay for something in cash, it's free.
Okay.
Because if it never hits your bank account, right? If you just have cash, that's free because it's not deducting from your bank account.
Yeah, okay, but I know for a fact you think this way.
Yeah, I
Because
do.
when I get tips and I just give it to you,
It's like free money.
you're always like, ooh, and you stick it in your purse. And then you never question the cost of something as long as I know. If I got a $200 tip
Yeah.
and I give you those $200, I know for a fact you will not question the value of anything you want to buy at Nordstrom Rack
Right.
up to $200.
Right.
But if we're talking about swiping our debit card for our joint
I'll
account,
think twice.
you will not let us buy a large 7-Eleven cup if you think we don't have enough money in that.
I'm pretty cheap. I'm a pretty cheap person, but when I have cash, like all bets are off. Like I'm going shopping
Dinner's
because
on
cash
me.
is free.
Oh, dude,
It's girl
that's
math.
funny. That's girl math.
It's science. I can't explain it to you if you don't understand.
Okay, so here's the next claim. Next claim right here.
Okay? If I order something using the Starbucks app, and I have money preloaded to the app, and then I go order the drink, it's free.
Yeah, because it's like a rewards program. Like with anything, with Subway, with anything. It's rewards. It's free money.
Well, that's not just the rewards. So prepay to you. Again, is it just because you feel the money has drafted out of the account already or what?
Yeah, like you're not budgeting for that anymore. Like it's gone. It's in cyberspace. It's gone. So now you can use it how you want. It's free.
Huh?
But is it just the inherent value is gone or what?
Inherent value of what? I don't know. It's free money. I don't know.
I like free money.
Yeah, it's just free.
This totally reminds me of it's a show, so don't get angry when I say the name of this show because it's SCHITTS, but Schitt's Creek, the show.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
guy goes like, it's a write-off.
Yeah.
What's a write? It's a write-off. Well, who writes it off? I don't know. The government people, the write-off people. You know, like that was, oh man, that is funny. Okay, so the next claim of Girl Math. Let's go over really fast.
Okay.
Okay, it's free. Got it. It's a free drink. Free drink. If I buy something at a store and I return it, so like the other week I bought a jacket from Zara, and now I have to return it tomorrow. When I return that, I'm actually making money.
Okay, if she wouldn't have said making money, I would have been a little bit.
But it's like, it's getting money back, so it's like it never happened.
And then also sometimes I'm guilty of this one too. If I've already survived a big purchase, and Zara is an expensive company, and then I get the money back.
Is Zara expensive?
Zara is kind of like, just like Aldo is to Steve Madden, Zara is
I thought Zara was
to,
like discounted stuff. But I don't know. I don't
Zara's
shop at
the less
Zara.
expensive of the luxury goods. But dude, a jacket at Zara when I was in New York still cost $250.
Okay, all right.
You
I
know?
don't have to worry about this. I'm not in my parent ages yet. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna-
So hopefully someday you'll be getting Zara jackets, bro. And living in New York, it's a fun place. Ooh, maybe not right now, but even actually probably still right now. Plus, you're a big guy, so you'd be just fine. I was a big guy. Nobody's gonna mess with you when you're a big guy. But anyway, if I survived the big purchase and then I ended up having to return it, I've almost never been frugal and thought like, okay, I'm going to put the money back into savings. I've been like,
No, because you've already spent it.
well, yeah, it's
free
like,
money.
well, what other high roller item could I get and treat myself to? So I actually kind of see where this girl's coming from on this one.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know. Okay, then the last two claims right here. Let's see, last two claims.
Okay. Similarly, if I do that return and the store gives me store credit, yeah, it's just like free shopping when I go back.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say so. I mean, you're just getting back the money that you spent on it, and then once you get that store credit, you get a free thing, and then
See,
you don't have to.
I'm
pay.
raising our kids right. It's
Like
free
mother,
money.
like mother, like son.
Yep.
If there's any question that this is your mother's son. Okay, so is there any part of you that feels obligated to put it just back into the account and use it on something better?
Depends on how poor we are that month, I guess.
Because this is the surprising thing to me is usually I'm not a spendthrift by any means,
Oh,
but what?
you are definitely the spender in this relationship.
Well,
Hey,
I would say you're more frugal than I am.
I'm very frugal, yes.
But I am not a spendthrift. I just because I spend more
Jury
than
is
you.
still out.
You
but
get us
yeah.
McFlurries. Mom gets us the $3 ice cream cones from McDonald's.
Oh, that's
okay?
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. They
Okay.
wanted a treat, and Ryder's like,
Okay.
I want a McFlurry. And I was like, no, that's like $6. I was like, I can get you guys both vanilla ice cream cones. You guys both get a treat, and it's like the same price.
So which one's more fun?
I mean, it depends. It depends on the day. Like, if it's a Monday, it's dad. If it's a Tuesday, it's mother. You know, it's like an on and off relationship.
You're going to be a politician.
Yeah, good job, buddy. Way to
don't
thread
know
that
what that
needle, bro.
means.
Okay, so then the last claim here of girl math versus boy math. Let's see here.
Totally lost here. Okay, everything's free except for you got money back. Got it. If I go out for dinner with my friends or they come over for dinner and we order in, and I'm the one who pays for it. And then everyone sends me an e-transfer for their portion afterward. But yes, you make money. I actually profited, I promise. So that's girl math. That's girl math. If I pay for something,
True. I like paying for something like on like our credit card, like our Amazon card or something, because then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get all those points, and then they'll Venmo me. So then I have my Venmo account, and then that thing gets high, and then I'm like, I can just transfer that. And
so as long as your husband pays for your girls' night out,
yeah, it's girl math.
Then you also get all the Venmo money. So
Yeah.
you might as well have just profited, huh?
Yeah. And now, like, the movie theaters will take Venmo as payment. Like, I don't even have to transfer that to my bank account. Like, I can just pay directly from Venmo. It's great. It's like a free movie ticket.
Yeah. Look what you have to look forward to, buddy, when you get married. When you get married, bro, you got to watch this stuff. So that's hilarious, man. That is absolutely
And before
hilarious.
everyone's like, oh, my gosh, girls are dumb. Oh, my gosh. Okay, pull up the boy math.
What's the boy math?
Pull it up.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a boy math. Are you surprising me with something super embarrassing? Okay, here's...
Well, what's funny is on TikTok, so the comment was, you guys should have left us alone, because now all these girls are commenting what boy math is, and it's...
Wait, you put it in the Discord?
Yeah.
Is it the comments one?
Comments? What?
This TikTok Ryan Maxwell?
Let me check.
Is it this one right
it
here?
It was right before the girl math one.
This one right here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, cool. Oh, wait. I think
This
you
is
showed me
boy
this one this
math.
morning. Oh, boy. This one's going to be savage. I didn't realize this was boy math. I just remember it being really funny. Okay, so here's some boy math. The girls, the empire of girls strikes
See,
back.
and
Here
she
we
says
go.
they should have just left us alone.
Okay, cool. So here we go. Where'd the geeks go?
She's going potty.
Oh.
The girl business.
Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boy math is claiming you don't know how to clean the bathroom, but spending 3 hours washing the car with 15 different products.
That's true.
Boy math is worried about what a woman brings to the table when your mattress is on the floor. Boy math is knowing a quarterback's stats, but not knowing who their kids' teachers are.
Do you know who our kids' teachers are?
Wait.
I'm sorry, he might be saying bad words, actually.
Yeah, did he? I was about to say, was that?
I don't know, but he has an
He had
accent,
a
so
bad-
I can't
he had-
tell.
I think he
Sorry.
had an F-bomb.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, guys. Let's keep going here. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boy math is saying I can go all night long and then snoring in 2 minutes.
Oh, whoops. Man, this guy says it a lot.
Statistics
He's
for
English.
the grown
I
men's
didn't realize.
professional athletic careers, and then thinking that makes you good at sports.
Oh, these are pretty savage. Okay, so we're
Do
gonna
you
go.
do that, Cardin?
We're gonna go over these one by one, and I will answer because let me focus on these ones. So first one is this.
Boy math is claiming you don't know how to clean the bathroom, but spending 3 hours washing the car with 15 different products.
That is true. That is a fact. That is a fact.
You think that's true?
Yes.
Wait. Okay. Well, I don't wash the car with 15 different products.
I'm not saying you specifically, but there is a stereotype where guys will clean their car, right? And they have the oil, they have the wax, they have the soap, they have everything. And you better not mess up that, right?
Yeah.
But then you go and be like, hey, can you vacuum? Can you clean the bathroom? Whatever. And it's like, well, what do I do? What do I use? It's like,
Yeah.
well, you figured out how to clean your car. I'm sure you can figure out how to clean the tile.
So boy math is claiming you don't know how to clean the bathroom, but spend 3 hours washing the car with 15 different products.
Yeah, that's
okay.
that's
That's
a
pretty
fact.
savage. Let's let him get through a swear word, and then we'll play
Yeah,
again.
sorry.
It's all good. Here we go.
Boy math is worried about what a woman brings to the table when your mattress is on the floor.
Okay, that's pretty savage, dude. I do have to say, I've seen one too many manosphere guys like talk about like what the woman brings to the table, all this other stuff, and then I've gone to their apartments to film, and it's like, bruh, your mattress is on the floor. Like a bed frame and box springs is like $95.
Yeah.
You know?
We all know someone. Like,
Yeah.
these are funny because we all can think of someone. If it's, maybe it's you in the chat.
Okay.
Maybe you know someone.
So next claim right here. Let's go.
Boy math is knowing a quarterback's stats, but not knowing who their kids' teachers are.
Okay, that one is bad.
What are our kids' teachers'
Okay.
names?
Well, okay. I don't want to say it on the internet because then it might give it away.
Okay, fine. But do you know our kids' teachers'
I will
names?
say Mrs.
What'd you say?
Mrs.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so I got that one right.
Yeah.
Correct, right?
Correct.
And then it was Mrs. But now it's Mrs.
Okay.
Did I get it?
You passed.
Yes. Okay, good. I did have to think about it though.
But I've had my same teacher for like 2 years.
Yeah, totally. Well, look, Beverly Hills Academy is an expensive place, and the teachers get a lot of money every year. So you know what I'm saying? You follow along. That's part of the whole private school thing, bro. So anyway, Brittany.
Yeah.
Did I pass your test?
Yeah, you passed. But you also don't really follow sports, so that one doesn't really
I will say
apply
I
to
need you sometimes remind me of their birthdays. So
that is true. He's always like, I think just today you asked Ryder how old he was.
Yeah.
You were like, how old?
I forget how old my kids are. He's like size.
Last night, Elizabeth and I were playing, and he's like, "Hey, Ryder, how old are you?" And I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. How old are you, Geeks?
I'm 7. Duh.
Yeah. You're about to get baptized. You're right. Go, girl. So, all right, here's the next one. Let's see. Wait, is there audio coming through there? Yeah, that is the weirdest thing. I don't know why.
I thought there were people in the background.
Yeah, I know. It's the weirdest thing. So, yeah, we'll just turn that off. That TV's done some weird stuff here. I don't know why it does that. Okay, anyway. Here we go. Let's keep going and see what the rest of boy math is.
Boy math is say I can go all night
You can
long.
skip
and
that
it's
one.
snoring in 2
You can skip that one. Sorry.
Okay. Then, hold on, next one.
Math is memorising the statistics for other grown men's professional athletic careers and then thinking that makes you good at sport.
That is true.
Okay, now
That's true.
That one, okay, this one is something I never got about my fellow guys in the Elders Quorum. Dudes will spend 3 hours watching basketball. And like, if I had 3 hours to dedicate to basketball, it wouldn't be watching somebody else play. It would be going out and playing basketball. I love playing basketball. I don't love watching basketball, you know? And boy math is memorizing the statistics for other grown men's professional athletic careers and then thinking that makes you good at sports.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one's savage. When have you seen this be true?
Like every time boys talk and get together, they're like, and I think he brings this up too. Like he's always talking about like hey, did you see like our game? Like we did so well. Like, okay, like you weren't even there. Like you watched it on a screen. Like you had nothing to bring to the table. I don't know. Boys talk about sports all the time like this.
In the proverbial we.
Or they'll be like, dude, why did he do that? Man, if I were on the I would have done that. Like you would have made it better. Like
you would have dunked. You would have dunked on a professional, bro.
Or,
right?
Oh man, he missed that 3-pointer. Oh man, I would have like made that. It's funny. Boys are funny.
Okay, so here's the rest of boy math.
Boy math is referring to a team as we.
Yeah.
When he does not play nor is employed in any part.
That one is pretty savage too.
How a pilot explains how difficult landing is, and my boyfriend says he could do it 100% easy.
Okay, I do have to tell you.
How many times have we landed and you're like, oh, that was a great landing? Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Like, yeah, I could tell he really like practiced a lot. I'm like,
I didn't say he really practiced a lot.
well, you go along like that.
Okay,
like,
in my defense, I was in the Experimental Aircraft Association for over a decade. I know a thing or two about flying and how hard it is, especially in a crosswind, especially in a short runway.
but what's funny is you said like, yeah, I could land a plane. It's not that hard.
I never said, plane, not a freaking jumbo jet. All right.
Okay.
Actually, I would argue in some aspects, a jumbo jet might be easier to land with the technological assistance that's available now. You know what I'm saying? Some small, older bush planes that don't have the electronics. Like now, planes can all but land themselves with autopilot. It's crazy. Some of the technology they have now, but
it's boy math.
It's boy math.
It's boy math.
You're right. So, speaking of which, I will be an early adopter of the self-landing and taking off planes, an absolute early adopter of that technology. So here we go. Let me see what else I got to say.
Math is packing 0 pairs of underwear and 72 beers for a 3-day.
Okay, so maybe not the beers, but I know exactly what they're talking about. Dude, your underwear will last you a couple of days. Your favorite soda, you got to have a 12-pack if you're going to make it through the day. You know what I'm saying? So, well, not a 12-pack, but
This is why I took over packing for you.
Yes, you did a great job. You did a great job. Okay, that.
Anyway, that's girl math versus boy math.
Okay, cool. So chat, what did you guys think about that? You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Do you think that's true? Is Mormon Standard Time a function of boy math or girl math? You know, what is that? And did this vibe with you? Was this some kind of an eternal thing? So yeah, I don't know. What'd you think, babe?
I think it's pretty spot on, to be honest. I don't know. I think it's funny. You can go on TikTok. You can find hundreds of videos about this trend. They're all really funny.
Are you going to do your own? Are we going to do one?
We could.
You want to do one? What would you put on it? Is there anything you felt that they missed?
Oh, man. I don't know if I can think of one on the spot. I don't know. Maybe come back to me on that one.
Okay, cool. I will. So the only other thing I want to talk about, well, first off, before we go into the next really weird, there's been like all these vandalisms of church lately.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I got sent a video.
Like where? Like North America?
Yeah, no, there was some, remember, I was just painting graffiti off of the church parking lot last year.
Oh, that's true.
And there was apparently in Utah, there's been a big old string of them. We read the Deseret News article recently on how there's been a 14% increase in arson of chapels. But apparently, like, it's on the rise and it's a thing. We were following some First Amendment auditors that specifically target Catholic and Mormon churches. Sometimes I wonder if it's not a natural consequence of us being some of the few organized religions left. If you go to a lot of the traditional denominations in the United States of America, they've been all but decimated. The youth are all gone. The oldest people are dying off. And then the elderly people are dying off. And then the old members are just getting older by the minute, and there's no new life being breathed into them. I was listening to a stat the other day that 82% of America's pastors are over the age of 65. And so there's definitely an age problem in the church at large in North America. Okay. And with that, it kind of makes you wonder, okay, as the North American church is in decline and there's less churches around, when the LGBTQ lobby wants to get angry at Christian America or wants to get angry at Judeo-Christian values because of, Proposition 8, or whenever somebody's ticked off at Mitt Romney or ticked off at, the patriarchy or whatever, where are they going to channel that anger? Well, at an organization, what are the organized religions that are left? There's not a lot. I mean, it used to be on every street corner. There was a First Presbyterian Church. There was a First and a Second Baptist Church. There was and you name 15 different churches, right? Well, now that's not so robust. They're selling off churches to make photo studios out of them around our house. And, they're forming mega churches of these like non-denominational, squeamish, where everything but Catholic and Mormon chapels where they just teach chicken noodle soup for the soul and then have a rock concert, and nobody's going to get really angry at them because they're not a specific denomination that's really tied to any other denomination. They're just kind of fluff that's there, and their pastors don't stand for anything except for, getting more donations than it costs to keep the church open. The last of the denominations that take a stand and the religions that are organized are basically in Los Angeles, Jews and Mormons. Then you have Catholics. Okay. A lot of the Catholic churches in Los Angeles, at least because of the scandal of the child abuse, have been pretty decimated in population, but I'd still say they have a very large and respectable presence. Then you might have some Jehovah's Witnesses, but they're small and generally they don't engage in politics. So if you're going to be attracting incoming from some kind of political movement that might rile people up or social movement that might rile people up, who's there to get angry at? Well, I'd say probably the most 3 highest profile faiths out there are probably, at least of the organized ones that you can point any of your aggression at, would be Mormons, Jews, and Catholics. So the natural consequences of still being around and organized in the 21st century, I think, might have part to do with it. But also, I think anti-Mormon ex-Mormonism is on the rise. And ex-Mormons have no regard for traditional, respectful dialogue when it comes to Mormons. That gets thrown out the window. I mean, they say things about us that if people were to say them about Jews, they would be disregarded as Daily Stormer podcasters. You look at the things that some of these anti-Mormon, ex-Mormons, and the rhetoric that they have, and you would be aghast if this were said about, a Hindu person or a Jewish person. It's like literally just like Jews have their neo-Nazis, Mormons have their anti-Mormon ex-Mormons. You know what I'm saying? That just say heinous and horrible stuff. And for them, especially this new woke version that's around, for them, graffitiing a chapel and throwing a brick through the window, that's not a heinous violation that makes a lot of people feel insecure. No, that's fighting patriarchy. That's a freaking badge of honor, man. I threw a brick through a Mormon chapel. Woohoo! Gonna go brag about it on ex-Mormon subreddit. Maybe have one person say it's bad. There's been multiple times we have exposed the heinous attitude that anti-Mormon ex-Mormons have towards the church that would be considered pure and unadulterated anti-Semitism if it was done against Jews. But because it's ex-Mormons doing it on Mormons, fine, it's okay. We're fighting patriarchy. It's all in the name of the greater good. So, anyway, I just thought this video was interesting. It got sent to me, and so I'm just going to send it to you guys. We're all just sharing here, having a fun hangout stream, just talking about what's going on, So here's what's going on. Multiple Latter-day Saint churches straight up burglarized. We're just going to play the video right here for everybody so they can see it themselves. 3, 2, 1, go.
Towns, we told
let's go to the beginning again.
There are new reports of LDS churches being burglarized in multiple towns. We told you Friday that Harriman police were out looking into reports of LDS churches being broken into last week.
Well, now South Jordan police also looking into some break-ins.
Yeah, okay, so this one is done, ostensibly and uniquely in Utah, but I've seen 2 or 3 of these reports. It's kind of crazy.
TV's Amanda Gilbert learning more about what was taken and how these thieves are getting in.
Oh, P.S. I just wanted to stop there for a second. And I thought, how these thieves are getting in. Have you ever tried to sneak into a chapel when you, forgot your keys or your laptop inside, babe?
No, I don't think so.
They're, hard to get into. Oh. I've never been able to sneak into our chapel. There was a time I learned how to pick a lock by getting into the sports closet inside the chapel. But dude, I don't know if it's a Los Angeles thing, but there ain't no way to get. These are all cement and brick Art Deco buildings that have metal and it might as well be a fortress, So I don't know how these guys were getting in and how their churches are different.
Maybe
but I thought
they had Elizabeth, her little fingers. Were you able to get through the door?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's true, man. That's true. So here we go.
LDS churches now in both Harriman and South Jordan burglarized.
I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked.
Michelle Hurd says she's lived here for 7 years.
I'm hoping they don't come back.
She's not the only neighbor who feels this many churches hit is unusual.
The kids running around or whatever, but I wouldn't think they'd go to the extent of breaking into a church.
By the way, what would you be going after?
The TVs, maybe? That's the only thing that's technological.
We have more TVs in the studio right here, right now, than we have in the entire steak center.
Yeah. I mean, the TVs are not the latest and greatest in the church, but what else would you be stealing from a church?
I don't know.
That's a microphone? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because that's why I would think it would just have to be vandalism, probably just some kind of hate crime. The last time we had a big rash of break-ins, it was because people were reacting to the Arizona case, and they were spray painting abusers and things that I can't even repeat on YouTube because, again, anti-Mormon ex-Mormons are extremely violent in their rhetoric, and they don't they do things that if done against Jews would be considered anti-Semitism, and for them violence against Mormons is badge of honor, not a
actually
not
sorry.
An inheritive good, not something we should be abhorrent of, at least in my opinion. Keep going. What?
You know what I think they're probably stealing?
What are they stealing?
The tables and chairs for events. Those things are prime gold.
For
you have a party, the church table and chairs, man.
Okay, cool.
Probably what they're going for.
Well, let's see. Is that what they went for? Let's see.
Harriman Twin City Deputy Chief Cody Stromberg agrees.
It would be considered abnormal.
He says initially they received reports of around 22 Harriman LDS churches broken into. He can confirm at least 8 of those were burglarized. What was taken?
The small electronics, TVs, speakers.
Small electronics, TVs. Man, that seems like a lot of work for me. That seems like a lot of work for me to go after.
But if you think about it, you go to a church and you know they have multiple TVs. Once you're in, just grab it all if you have multiple people with you.
See, we had this problem at BYU when I was there. They had a big problem. There was like 8 projectors that were stolen, and the thieves came in. They'd just taken some of those vests that the student like janitors would wear. They just taken some of those. They came in and they stole like $50,000 or $60,000 worth of projectors that were bolted to the ceiling, and they
had to unbolt them.
They had to unbolt them, but because they were wearing the vests, they actually had students that were still in the building holding the doors open for them and helping them carry them out to the car, because like they thought that they were just regular maintenance workers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that reminds me. There was a TikTok. It went viral. It was a while ago. But poor Elizabeth, she's like very sleepy.
Yeah. do you want to lay down, Geeks? Are you tired? Yeah, you could go lay down. Do you want to go lay down? Yeah, I was about going to say, you were looking kind of tired.
Yeah, she's like dozing.
Yeah, I told you could be on for 5 minutes and then you could go to sleep. But yeah, oops. Adios. It's a late night at the studio.
It's late night.
She is going to fall asleep in the car ride home.
We got to go home soon.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty crazy.
Okay, no, but there was this TikTok. Maybe I sent it to you. There was this guy, and he was standing outside of some corporate building, and just like with his arms out, and he was not telling anyone, just like motioning like to do this. So people were walking up to their place of work, going like this, and he was like checking their body and then like letting them into the building. There was no sign. He didn't talk. He just stood like that. And so everyone, as soon as they walked up, did it. Like, oh, I don't know. It just shows that people are such sheep. And dude, you were saying with the projectors, like no one thinks twice. If you have a vest on, that means you're authority. So that means you can do anything you want.
Dude, did you hear about the guy at the London Zoo?
No.
There was a dude that for 30 years never missed a day of work, taking money for the parking at the London Zoo. And like after 30 years, finally, the guy retires. And he had always worked every single day, 185 days a year that the London Zoo was open and everything. And finally, when he retired, like the director of the zoo calls the city of London and says calls parking enforcement and says, dude, your guy's not here. Like, where is he? And they're like, what do you mean your guy? He's like, your guy, the guy that takes the money for the parking in the zoo. And they said, wait, we thought that was your jurisdiction and he was an employee of yours and you were taking money for the parking. They're like, no, we thought that was your guy. There was a dude when the zoo had opened who just stuck a booth there and started charging people for parking cash.
And collected all the money.
And taking the money.
Oh,
and he did it for 30 years. And the bureaucracy of London was so thick that the Department of Transportation thought that the Department of Zoology was the one that was doing it. And the Department of Zoology thought that the Department of Parks and Rec was doing it. And Parks and Rec thought that
for 30 years.
For 30 years, they all thought that this guy just worked for a different department.
Oh my gosh.
Because he always showed up and he looked like he had an official uniform and there was a booth there and he was taking cash. And he was just literally just taking all of the cash. I don't know if he was fake swiping the cards, just like in a machine, but then saying there's a discount if you pay cash. But apparently this dude, and I'm botching the story here, all right? And who knows, maybe it's an apocryphal legend that isn't even true, but we all know it's true somewhere, right? But please, somebody look into this about I'm pretty sure it was London. At the London Zoo, there was a dude that for eons took money that was not his. And then he just escaped because he just had a little plaque. It was just like a name tag, like, hi, I'm John, and genius move.
I'm getting so many ideas right now.
Yeah. Charge parking at our kids' school.
Right.
Just give one of those chest things with a little input device, a small little cash register like they have at Chick-fil-A or something, you know, and just start. That'd be pretty hilarious. Anyway, do we have to catch up on the super chats? Yes.
Probably.
Guys, if you have any questions or anything you want to opine, please send us it in a super chat. We'll read it on air. Also, if you're coming into the chat, please make sure that you like this stream and you also share it with your friends. It's a hangout stream. We're just having some fun tonight. But yeah, Brittany, catch us up on chats.
Okay. Porter Rockwell Enjoyer says LDS math. Claims follow word of wisdom, but is 150 pounds overweight, eats me every day. Bennett math. Just wait a few more years, you'll see. You are now blocked. I don't know what Bennett math is. What's Bennett math?
Bennett? I don't know. There's only a couple of Bennetts I know. There's John C. Bennett, who's the famous anti-Mormon. There's a modern Bennett that is... he sings the Mormon Tackle Choir. Jim Bennett, he's come on our show. He's a friend of the show and whatnot. So I don't know. I don't see any Bennetts in the chat. So maybe you should just expand on what you're thinking. I'm scanning up and I don't see anything there. So yeah, I don't know exactly what he's referring to, but I still love the name Porter Rockwell Enjoyer. And I do have to say, I put this in the Discord as well, but we might as well talk about it now. Moremonger, our friend Lego Joseph Smith, he just had a savage post today that I just had so much respect for. And I'm going to put it up in the screen right now. Lego Joseph Smith literally said, I can respect atheists, but I can't respect progmos. Here's why. Once you accept core doctrine A, then you must believe doctrines B and C because they follow logically from doctrine A. Progmos will accept that Joseph Smith was a prophet, that the LDS canon is the word of God, that prophets can lead Christ's church today, and that SSA couples should be sealed in the temple? ? It's illogical. It's dishonest. Atheists do not accept the same fundamental doctrines that we do, so while their beliefs are worlds apart from ours, at least their beliefs can be logically consistent, all right? So he kind of makes that argument, and I'm like, okay, cool. This is where the savage part comes in. His first reply is this cat named Sean Martin says Mormon Dad 74, so I don't know if he was just a guy born in 1974 that's a Mormon dad, but he said this, and I thought, ooh, this is a hardcore comment. He said there are also many very conservative Mormons who are fat and don't exercise. We have doctrine. We talk about it regularly. We all know what it is. And ... I've heard stake presidents and bishops rail on tobacco, drugs, and alcohol, but they are 150 pounds overweight, all or none. That's a pretty savage take, man. That's a pretty savage take that, you know, so it's sometimes we pick the sins that our generation wants to think are worse than others. And it's hard. It's hard for me when there's a dude that's 150 pounds overweight telling me about,
at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't like this because who are we to judge?
Well, this is why the effeminization of the church is...
No, but
so
literally, like, you don't know if they have a genetic issue. You don't know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that 1% that has a genetic issue needs grace. That 1% that really does have an addiction needs grace. But dude, 98% of us, we just lack discipline. Me included.
Yeah, I just feel like we all have problems. So maybe some are more apparent than others, but maybe you should work on your own problems.
We're not saying be a jerk about it, but I thought it was funny.
I don't know if you're calling someone 150 pounds overweight.
It's not me. It's Sean Martin. Okay. But at the same token, I think it was funny that he's like, okay, well, hey, hold on a second. If you want to start talking about, you know, hypocrisy here, you know, how many times have we seen a stake president get up and, you know, give a talk on immodesty, for example, that always gets boiled down into how short a girl's dress is at a stake dance instead of, I don't know, should you be driving a Porsche 911 and wearing a 3-piece Armani suit to church every Sunday? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's more to modesty than just 1960s
I do agree
attire.
with that. I think modesty has been trimmed down into just what a girl is wearing. No one cares about what boys wear, right?
Don't wear tank tops.
Okay,
or whatever.
you have one rule. Wow. Okay, but like girls have a lot more modesty rules.
Well, no, and I can't wear the really, really short shorts because, you know.
Well, on Wednesdays you can.
If the package is bulging, it's distracting.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like how modesty has truncated into women wear this,
Okay,
this,
so anyway,
don't wear
the thread continues, and he says, now I think you would appreciate the continuation of the thread.
Yeah.
He says, hypocrisy does not equal logical inconsistency. A hypocrite contradicts his words with his actions. A logically inconsistent person contradicts his words with his words. Oof. Marinate on that for a while. So anyway,
I'm going to have to read that one again.
yeah, you're going to have to read that one again. So look what you did, Porter Rockwell enjoyer. You got us on a whole thread with our boy Lego Joseph Smith here. So anyway, next super chat by none other.
Okay, hold on. I got to scroll.
Then
Stephen Diamond. He says, as David used rocks to defeat Goliath, must we use temple rocks to defend our churches? Also, the recent Sunday school president slander must stop.
Recent Sunday school president slander. What is that?
I think we had a live stream or a podcast or something where you guys are like, what does a Sunday school presidency even do? Or something like that.
Oh, there was somebody in the chat that said, what does Sunday school presidency even do? Oh, that might have been Jonah Barnes. I think he made a joke about that. Ironically, I'm in the Sunday school presidency. So
yeah.
I just wait around to have a regular teacher drop out, and then I teach for them. I do definitely think that our church does, and some wards do a much better job of this than others. Some stakes do a much better job of this than others. But we really need to refine and put renewed vigor into two things. One, elders quorum, and two, Sunday school. You look at Sunday school lessons in the 60s, 70s, even into the 80s, and they would literally drop like a Hugh Nibley book in the lap of the elders quorum and be like, okay, this year we're going through Jesus the Christ. This year we're going through, Hugh Nibley's Lehigh in the Desert, I believe, was the product of him being asked to write the priesthood manual, if I'm not mistaken. And I even got some books here. Hold on. I don't like putting the scriptures on the ground. I know that's not a Mormon tradition, but ever since I did traffic school with some Orthodox Jews who never let scripture touch the ground, that's kind of always been like a thing with me. Did you know that, babe?
No, I don't know that story.
You've never noticed why I never put the scriptures on the ground? Yeah, because they had their scriptures and they were talking to a friend and they picked them up off the ground when they said, move your stuff off the ground. And she said, we never place the word of God on the ground. It's considered disrespectful. And I was like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, that's cool. Yeah. So anyway, I don't do that. Anyway, hold on 2 seconds, babe. Hold on.
Okay. While you're doing that, can I read some super chats?
Yeah, but I think I found it. Here it is.
Never mind.
Like, here's a book written for Deseret Sunday School Union, written for the Deseret Sunday School Union. So this is back when Sunday School Union used to print our stuff. This was written by Joseph F. Smith, copyright 1917. This is a book written by the prophet on what it means to be a Mormon. Like, how hardcore is that? Like, the prophet. And by the way, not just any prophet. This is Joseph F. Smith. We're talking the dude that gave us Doctrine and Covenants 138.
I'm sorry,
mistaken.
I can't read that book. It says the word Mormon in it. I'm not a Mormon. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So obviously that book has nothing of relevance to me anymore.
I respect your hyperbole and your humor. Unfortunately, there are people that actually feel that way. But look at this, dude. Like, here's just on baptisms, questions and suggestions. What are the two most purposes of baptism? Discuss the question, will baptism alone secure salvation? 4, what reasons do you see for the Savior being baptized? 5, what different modes of baptism are taught in the various churches today? 6, defend the statement that immersion is the proper method. 7, what important promises are made to those who are baptized? Page 89. This is the first page that I open up to, and these are the hardball questions that they're asking. Nowadays, it's like, oh, could you guys share just like a positive message on how you felt at a baptism? Oh, and then could you just talk about how good water is and just how just beautiful water is? It's one of the best gifts to man. And then third, could you act out a skit of John the Baptist meeting Jesus and saying, no, I should baptize you. No, you should baptize me. No, you should baptize you. It's just, who wants to volunteer for the closing prayer? Like, that's literally the way Sunday schools go down half the time.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Joseph Smith saying defend the thesis of why we should do baptism by immersion. And then now we're just chicken noodle souping it for the soul, and it's like, bruh, we've lost something. So anyway, okay. Are we all caught up on super chats?
No, we are not. Jason Gasts just sent a super chat. Thank you.
Okay.
Rex Good, he says, I'm not fat. I just have really thick skin. That's funny. Okay, Porter Rockwell Enjoyer says Cardin math. Ooh, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Suburbanism, Boy Scouts, Elders Quorum PhD class.
Yeah, that's right. Gotta not crush the patriarchy, crush the suburbanism. The first prophet that says, in the name of God, I command you to have more children. And then the first, whoever's in charge of the Elders Quorum that says we're going to treat Elders Quorum like the Boy Scouts of America. I'll know those guys, freaking straight conduit from God into the hearts and the souls of men. Just that's when we got freaking a Moses back, not just an Omni, baby. And then Elders Quorum PhD class. Yeah. Like literally, why not? Why not literally have a college level awesome course that is taught by an extremely talented person that has multimedia and the best of everything that the world has to offer? If we've got 45 minutes to teach something, let's knock that ball out of the park. Instead of just being like, with some iPhone saying, okay, so today we're just going to discuss a talk from the last conference. Did anybody have any thoughts on elder something Christian said? I can't pronounce it, but yeah, thoughts? Anybody? Dude, weak sauce. Whereas when a dude comes in with a PowerPoint or a film or a video queued up and he's got some commentary and some questions and there's preparation. And one of the few things the church does well is being able to get correlated materials. Let's bump up those correlated materials. Let's take them back to the old school, baby. Old school was good, man. Back to the basics, because the basics are good.
There you go. There you hear it, folks.
Yeah, so Porter Rockwell Enjoyer, thanks for noticing that.
Okay, next one. Okay, I still don't know what this guy's username is. Polly Nikes 2000?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, he says, question to Shadow. Ooh. Which gender has more Instagram OnlyFans profiles?
Yeah, which gender has more Instagram/OF profiles?
That's
OnlyFans
easy.
profiles. Yeah, so
Female, because men are more than eager to be subscribers.
I would assume, well, Instagram is a female-dominated platform. YouTube's 70% male, 30% female, and it's the exact opposite on Instagram. 70% of users on Instagram, actually, it might be as high as 80% of users on Instagram are female. So which gender has more Instagram/OnlyFans profiles? Now, does that mean subscribes to them? I don't think so. I think he's saying offering. So that would be girls.
I would say females, yeah.
Yeah. So if we fall in hard times, you want to do some OnlyFans, babe?
Sure.
Dude, I'm down. I support y'all.
Yeah.
Take like pictures for you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just not the feet
people are
thing.
not going to be very happy when
Not
I
the
have
feet
my
thing.
poetry and my scriptures. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
That'll be my OnlyFans.
That's true. Like, you do your OnlyFans reading the first book of Nephi.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? That's
I,
funny.
Nephi, having been born of goodly parents. Okay, next one. Stephen Diamond says, I love my calling. It has bettered my life. That's awesome.
Dude, you go,
I think
bro.
he's Sunday school presidency or president or... Yeah, that's awesome, Stephen. I'm glad to hear that.
Young kid, right?
I believe so. I think he goes to BYU, Idaho.
Boom.
Okay, Jason Gast says, I want time wore Richard Nixon mask at EQ. Maybe I one time wore a Richard Nixon mask at EQ.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Wow, he wore a Richard Nixon mask in Elders Quorum.
Why?
Richard Nixon, born only about 20 minutes south of Los Angeles. And wasn't it your great-grandmother that taught him in elementary school? Wasn't there there was some connection, or was that in my family? Someone in either your family or my family taught Richard Nixon as an elementary school teacher in elementary
I
school.
don't think that was my family.
Okay, then maybe it was mine.
Yeah.
Because that someone in our family tree taught Richard Nixon. I believe it was in Yorba Linda, is where he either grew up in Whittier or in Yorba Linda. I'm pretty sure though that is on your father's side. You should call your father.
Okay.
Because there's somebody in your family tree that taught Richard Nixon
Really?
in elementary school. Yeah.
Well,
that was one of her claims
hot
to
dang.
fame, is she ended up teaching the future president of the United States of America. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Okay.
And any other super chats?
Yes, Good News Paper says, please do a show on the huge difference between church handbook tithing policy and section 119 tithing doctrine. I taught this in Elders Quorum yesterday, and questions.
Ooh. Well, what were some of the discrepancies that you see?
I feel like we've
Because
talked about tithing.
we
before.
have talked about this. Actually, recently, it was probably about 10 or 11 live streams ago, which I don't expect you to comb through everything and understand. But yeah, tithing. Sometimes I think you should plain old have to pray about what your tithing is, because nowadays with such a Byzantine tax code and such a Byzantine gone are the days where a single income household of a guy that worked a basic 9 to 5 paid for everything, and 5% went to medical expenses, 5% went to utilities, 20% went to mortgage, 40% was discretionary spending, and then 50% was savings et al. And a regularly frugal person could just simply save 10. I mean, it's so easy was the math that employees of ZCMI used to be able to have the church take out tithing from their ZCMI paychecks before they even got them. But now, what do you do with capital gains? What do you do with the absolutely hyperinflated value of homes? Now homes are more than just places to live. They're practically investments, for heaven's sakes.
We should do girl tithing. We should do tithing. Girl math versus boy math episode. How we do tithing.
a lot of people gave me flack for what I said about tithing when I said that, sometimes you just have to pray about it. And because they said, oh, well, it seems like you're trying to get out. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just saying that, like, you have to understand what your expenses are, and you have to understand that we tithe the surplus of what we make. Well, what is a surplus? If you look at the original wording of the 1838 Webster's Dictionary, when it talked about in the Doctrine of Covenants that we should pay tithing on our surplus. Well, does that mean if I make $100,000, but it cost me $10,000 of gas commuting and $10,000 worth of wear and tear, that I owe $10,000 of tithing because that's 10% of $100,000? Or do I have to take out the $10,000 that I spent on gas commuting and the $10,000 that I spent on wear and tear of my car? So I really should be paying $8,000. Well, some people would say, well, there's a difference between net and gross. I'm like, yeah, well, sometimes there's a difference between net and gross because, for example, the highest tax bracket in France will hit 92% if you're a successful athlete or you're a successful a movie star. There's movie stars that are French movie stars that move out of France in order to be able to just keep more of their money. They move to Luxembourg, they move to Belgium, they move to Germany just to escape the high taxation. Famously here during the Eisenhower administration, we were up to 90 some odd % taxation, marginal tax rate after everything after $400,000 a year. So if you're telling me you're in the month of December and you're a guy that makes $500,000 a year, then on your last paychecks, you owe 10% of something that's already taxed 92%. So you have to pay out of your paycheck. That's crazy. And also, what do you do with the value of your home? Like, do you get a write off your mortgage or not? Is that a living expense or is that an investment? I don't know. And if the value of my home goes up $200,000 in a year, do I all of a sudden owe $20,000 for the church? Oh, and then also, if it goes down, if my housing value goes down because the economy is tanking, does the church owe me $20,000 if I lose $200,000? No, like.
That's why I think it's so important, like you said, to pray about it, because I think if we are thinking too much about it, then we're no better than a Sadducee who's walking the steps on the Sabbath, or or tying our tassels the right way, or whatever they did. Like, I just think you're missing it if you have to think too much about it. And I think you're missing the benefits that come from it if you do think too much about it, where I think you should pray, get personal revelation, have a spiritual moment with it instead of like an accounting relationship with it.
Yes, we don't want to have a legalistic approach to the gospel. At the same time, 10% is a perfect number because it's enough for you to feel it. It's enough for it to hurt, but it's not enough to kill you. And it separates the men from the boys. It makes those, like, talk is cheap, tithing isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I hate paying tithing. Like, yeah, I'll say it, like, it hurts. Like, no matter what amount it is, it's a struggle that I have. It's probably a big struggle that I have. It hurts me to pay tithing, and I'll be completely honest about it. Cardin literally has to do all of our tithing because I literally, like, it's a flaw of mine. I get it. I literally cannot bring myself to pay it because, like I said, I'm very frugal, and that's my mindset. But that being said, I have seen immense blessings from when Cardin pays it.
Yeah. Well, and so to follow up on Good Newspaper, you had a follow-up super chat. I'm stealing your job just for one super chat. And he says, which is less than 10% of income for most people. Yeah, well, I would actually argue, again, we need to understand what the definition of income truly is. It doesn't mean the money that you are paid for something. Okay? There might be expenses involved. There might be subscriptions to editing softwares and artificial intelligence calculators and costs for equipment involved and so on and so forth. One of the most beautiful aspects of tithing is, in order to calculate that 10%, you have to become aware of what all of your finances are. You have to be aware of the flocks in your fields. And you have to be able to have a good prayerful relationship with your Father in heaven and say, I want to fulfill this law as best I can. And when it gets confusing with guys like me, dude, I have like 17 1099s that come in. Sometimes it's hard for me to figure out, wow, I just had to buy, here's a good example. Let's just say I bought a baseball bat for a scene on Ward Radio. We're going to do a comedic video on, I don't know, Babe Ruth or something. Okay. I just bought a baseball bat. We used it for a scene and, it worked. It's cool. It was a movie prop. Well, I'm going to keep the baseball bat. I'm not going to throw it away. Well, if I now use that baseball bat for my own personal fun, well, is 50% of the cost of that a write-off to me? Is 100% of the cost a write-off to me? I would feel like 100% of the cost of it is a write-off. That's justified as well, because I wasn't in the market for a baseball bat until I had to do this Ward Radio skit, and the Ward Radio skit called for a baseball bat. So I would feel fine if that part of me that wanted to write off the entirety of the baseball bat said write off the entirety of the baseball bat. But if I also buy it thinking, well, this would be fun to keep afterwards to play with my kids, I could see there's a part of me that says, you should only write off 50% of the value of the baseball bat, because 50% of it was like, maybe my son Ryder will like this and I'll give it to him afterwards. So I could see how somebody with a good relationship with God and his family and with man could ethically feel he owes 50% of the value of that baseball bat to be tithed, or owes none of the value of the baseball bat to be tithed, because I wasn't on the market for a baseball bat. Both of those are valid viewpoints. And that's why I really like when James E. Faust said, people often ask me, should I pay on the net or should I pay on the gross? Well, I ask them, do they want net or gross blessings? Now, that's not preaching a prosperity gospel. It's simply saying that in some ways, tithing is what you pay into it, and the faith you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
I don't like that whole, do you want net or gross blessings, though? I don't like that phrase.
That's why I said it comes from a different era. Mm-hmm. So I'm contextualizing it in the era that it came from, when things were a lot simpler. There weren't families getting 17 1099s like we do now. There weren't families that had to pay their own medical bill benefits like they used to. Your medical costs weren't 30% of your monthly income. Back in 1983, when I was born, it was only about 8% on the high end, 5% on the low end of the average family. So now there's much different considerations economically that have to be taken into account. And the taxation and the money-making gig economy is a lot more fragmented, so much so that I swear sometimes just to do my taxes, I feel like it takes a forensic accountant. I'm glad that we have our enrolled agents and that we have, in our case, a guy in our bishopric and one of our ward clerks actually does our taxes as well. You know what I'm saying? And I have to just literally hand him like 20 pieces of paper and say, like, these came in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Like, here, figure out my taxes. Okay, bro. And he meanders through it and he does it all. Sometimes I feel with tithing, it's kind of that way. I don't know how much money I made this month. I got a pretty solid idea, and I got a pretty good idea of what my expenses were. But sometimes there really is a guess. I could pay 10 grand in tithing. I could pay 12. I could pay 8. So sometimes I just literally get on my knees and I say, Lord, what? I could see how this could be an $8,000 tithing month. I could see how this could be a $12,000 tithing month, or whatever. Okay. I could see how this is an $800 tithing month. I could see how this is a $1,200 tithing month. Like just
$1, Bob.
Yeah. $1, Bob. Just guide me. And there's been times where I've literally prayed about how much tithing I should pay and what feels good, and numbers come to my mind. And I thought, okay, I feel good about that. I know the Lord feels good about it. I'm going to pay that because I take seriously, and I've noticed my entire life the blessings of the tithe. That's something, it's odd, but it's one of the few things that I have an extremely profound testimony of.
Okay, and talking about girl math or boy math, tithing really is Lord math, where 2 + 2, it's going to equal 5. I don't know how, but it just works out that way. That's Lord math with
That's
tithing.
Lord math. Okay, catch us up on Super Chats, baby.
Okay, Brian Stutzman. Hello, Brian.
Woo, woo!
He says, a follow-up from 3 weeks ago, BYU Provo versus BYU Idaho. Ooh, I like where this is going.
Oh, are they going to build a BYU up in Idaho?
I'm reading his super chat. You can't opine yet.
Oh, okay.
The church has a university in Provo. The Lord has a university in Rexburg. Boom!
No, look, I tell you, I've always
Brian,
been a fan.
I agree, 100%.
I've always been a fan of Rick's College. It's
not called that anymore.
It's one of the most adorable campuses.
It's actually a very pretty campus. It is.
Yeah.
With the Lord's chosen. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Good newspaper says,
Bridaho.
read 119, doctrine is give all your surplus goods. Okay, I think we've covered this.
All your surplus goods? I know, I think it's give of your surplus. They weren't living the law of the United Order back then. Let me see. D and C 119, all surplus goods. Saints are to pay their surplus property and then give as tithing 1/10 of their interest annually, 6 to 7. So look, I'm actually looking up right here. Revelation given through Joseph Smith the prophet in far west Missouri. In answer to a supplication, O Lord, show unto thy servant how much requirest of the properties of thy people for a tithing. The law of tithing as understood today had not been given to the church previously to this revelation. The term tithing in the prayer just quoted and in previous revelations had meant not just 1/10, but all free will offerings or contributions to the church funds. That's interesting because I know the Bickertonites do what's called a free will tithe. You just tithe what you can.
Yeah.
Or not, I shouldn't say what you can, because oftentimes people, that always converts into I can't. Well, that's funny. I just saw you buy a Game Boy yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You don't have money for the Lord.
A Game Boy. You just dated yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Game Boy.
They have a free will tithe, and simultaneously, sometimes they struggle with resources, at least in comparison to us, right? And so,
no, I don't think they do struggle with resources.
No, yeah, no. Josh Gailey himself said on our program, like, you know, hey, I'm fine with the Lord working with a church that's small and poor, and that's the way it was in New York. That's the way it was in ancient Israel, so on and so forth, which is a fine take. And I was just going to point out though that they don't believe in the Doctrine and Covenants. And so if Section 119 is the reason why the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known by some as the Brighamite sect, pays specifically a 10% off of our surplus, which results in a much larger pool of resources, you can see why we would have our tithing system different from theirs, because ours is based off of a section 119 of Doctrine and Covenants of a book that they don't believe in. So they would be using the old system before Doctrine and Covenants, free will tithe, which is the specific phrase that they use. So this isn't a criticism at all. It's an explanation.
I think that's beautiful, though, a free will tithe. I think that's beautiful.
It's got a charismatic ring to it. That's for sure. So anyway, the term tithing in the prayer just quoted in the previous revelations had meant not just 1/10, but all free will offerings or contributions to the church funds. The Lord had previously given the church the law of consecration and stewardship of property, which members, chiefly the leading elders, entered into by a covenant that was to be everlasting. Because of failure on the part of many to abide by this covenant, the Lord withdrew it for a time and gave instead the law of tithing to the whole church. So similar to the Aaronic versus the Melchizedek priesthood, the higher and the lower law, that order was taken away. And the prophet asked the Lord how much of their property he required for sacred purposes. The answer was this revelation: the saints are to pay their surplus property and then give as tithing 1/10 of their interest annually, 6 through 7. Such a course will sanctify the land of Zion. So, verily, thus saith the Lord, I require all their surplus property to put in the hands of the bishop of my church in Zion. And when you click on surplus, oh, what's going wrong here? Why isn't surplus coming up? Okay, here it goes. I'm doing this all in front of you guys, so you can see Doctrine and Covenants. Again, there should be properties in the hands of the church and individuals and more than is necessary for the support after their first consecration, which is a residue. To be consecrated under the bishop shall be kept in. How do you define residue? here's the bishop and his council going to be in charge. And then 55, it says, and if thou obtainest more than that which would be for thy support, thou shalt give it into my storehouse, that all things can be done according to that which I have said. Okay, well, how does an individual define actually what is necessary for my support? If I buy a Porsche, is that necessary because I'm a baller entertainer, and if I'm not driving a Porsche, nobody takes me seriously as an entertainer and doesn't give me as much money in my contracts? Okay. Or if I buy a Porsche, should I pay tithe on the $50,000 difference between the $40,000 Camry and the $90,000 Porsche and give an extra $5,000 in tithing? I don't know. Those are considerations to make, right? Again, those would have to be made on an individual level. Who determines residue? The bishop isn't a forensic accountant. It would have to be the individual in his personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So he would have to determine the residue. How does he do that? Well, if he's a righteous person that's honest and has intellectual integrity as well as spiritual integrity, he's going to pray about it, I feel, and he's going to let the Spirit guide him. And then also, who also defines residue? Wow. It can be only I know exactly what I needed and what I didn't, and can be truly honest with myself. And when in doubt, I always say give more.
Okay, well, let's do a podcast on tithing because we actually need to go, and I need to just catch up on these super chats.
That's true. Catch up on the super chats.
Walter Banks says, my YSA EQ lessons are fire. Talks from the living prophets are very applicable to us. I think we lose something if we aren't vulnerable and actually seek counsel from our elders quorum on our actual challenges we face and seek Christ.
Okay.
I agree. I think there's power in being vulnerable, and I think people who are more willing to share their experiences, I think you'll find that you have friends who have also gone through something, and I don't know, I think testimonies and faith can be built when you are vulnerable and share with each other. So I agree.
Yeah. By the way, we got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. You got any last super chats? Get them out of your system right now. Get them out of your system right now because we're already into overtime. We're already 17 minutes into overtime, babe.
You always tell me it's going to be an hour, and I know I just have to double it and just carve out time.
I know.
Okay.
We're hurrying up. We're hurrying up.
Okay. Kevin Nelson says, Jordan Peterson biblical lectures for Sunday school.
Boom. I'm down.
You love Jordan Peterson.
The church needs some JP, baby.
I don't know much about Jordan Peterson, except that his daughter eats meat. That's about all I know. Okay.
And she dated Andrew Tate.
Oh, did you? I don't know.
Yeah, before he was famous, she dated Andrew Tate.
I don't know much. Okay, good newspaper. I think we may have read this one, which is less than 10% of income for most people. You said that one. Okay.
Yes.
Brian Bacon, you need Robert K. come on to talk tithing.
Robert K. is invited any day of the week, baby.
All right, you heard it.
By the way, I hope he's not some crazy person. I don't know who that is, but, sure. I'll talk tithing with anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Good newspaper says read the actual text of 119, not just the intro. So.
I put it all up on here. Everybody in the audience can see it. There's a whole entire chapter dedicated to it, and it's interesting. Verily I say unto you, it shall come to pass that those who gather unto the land of Zion shall be tithed of their surplus properties, and shall observe this law, or they shall not be found worthy to abide among you. That's the nature of the temple recommend question. Being about tithing, it's scriptural based in Revelation, but again, who determines what is their surplus? If you have a hungry child that eats triple his regular ration, who else knows that better than the parents? So, to me, again, you have to have a personal revelation with God and the Holy Ghost sometimes to actually know where that correct number is, because at the end of the day, you are paying a number, and you have to be okay with that number. And sometimes being okay with that number, I think, requires a conversation with God. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I also think it's faith, and I think there's nothing wrong with asking or having a conversation with God, which is something so powerful. I think a lot of times we underestimate the power of prayer. You can literally have a conversation with God, and conversation means it's two ways. Ask him a question, he'll give you an answer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Okay, we're caught up on super chats.
All right, sick, awesome. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to go here pretty soon. Just got a couple other minutes left. We'll give another couple minutes. If you guys have some comments on anything that we've said incorrect, on anything we've said correct that you agree with, we'll give you a chance to give one last super chat. A shout out to everybody that's been in the chat so far. Looks like we got Rex Good here again. the YGDSs. I don't recognize that one, but
He's been in there before.
He's been there before.
He
We
or
got
she,
Paulie
I don't know.
Nikens, Pale Horse Riding Burner. That's awesome, killer name. Brian Bacon. I love my alliterations. And Good Newspaper. He was something else before. It was either not a Latter-day Saint on fire. It was he changed his name. I don't remember what it is. But we do recognize Walter Banks with his first super chat today. Super glad that your YSA Elders Quorum lessons are fire and that you like the talks of the living prophets. That's great. And also Brian Stutzman. This is officially his first super chat today. And we also had 2 new members. I remember there was Alicia Brown, and who was the other person that we welcomed to the
I think
Ward
it was just
family?
Alicia, but we also have someone in labor right now. You forgot about that.
Oh yeah, sister. What was her
Where's
name again? Cherish.
Charity or Cherish?
Yeah, Cherish. How's labor going, girlfriend? You know, that baby born yet? You know? P.S. Cardin is a great unisex name. I'm not
I think she said she was
suggesting
having
anything.
a boy. So
Just
there you go.
you name them Cardin, and you get all the free merch from Ward Radio in
For
perpetuity.
life. You get free merch for life.
In perpetuity, free merch for life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Other than that, we got some great things coming, guys. Oh my gosh. We have some things so cool. Babe.
Yeah.
What am I going to Las Vegas to do tomorrow? We can't say.
Are we
See,
saying
I can't
it?
give it.
Because if anyone's in Vegas, Cardin's going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. Word. Woo. We've got a collectible card game that we're making for this channel. And it's going to be so cool. It already is so cool. I've seen prototype art and cards done by a team of 3. Like, just words cannot do how cool it is justice, but that's coming. We also have some good simple shirts and hats that I'm getting the designs finalized literally this week with Brad and with Kwaku and a couple of other people. And I want, by the time they come down next week, to have all those shirts done so that we can have a cool merch show. And also, I'm going to do a show on the Widow's Mite, and I've procured from an antiquities dealer, hopefully 10 or 20 Widow's Mites. They're slabbed. They're actually certified as from the Roman time period when they had Widow's Mites. You can't really tell if it's a Widow's Mite or not, but you can look by the size of the coin. So they'll call it a Widow's Mite sized coin. But they're basically Widow's Mites that are from the Roman era that I've purchased, and I think hopefully we can also give out as merch on the channel. We're doing some short film stuff. We're planning some field trips. It's going to take us a while to do this stuff, but we have got 5 or 6 projects in the queue that are just totally baller, and some collabs we're going to do that I'm just really excited about. So obviously our bread and butter, our backbone is here in the studio having fun talking with you about current events, doctrine, stuff that's happening tangential to the church. Our Ward family is our primary focus, but we do have some really, really cool stake level stuff coming on that's actually really, really fun and really satisfying. So as always, we're hopefully going to start cultivating a newsletter soon, and also doing invitations to participate in the live stream and things like that through email. So we would also refer you, after you like and you subscribe to this channel, please make sure that you check us out on wardradio.com as well. Got anything else you want to say before we go? Brittany, the Shadow.
No, I think that's it.
No, you think that's it? Okay, awesome.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, it's been real and it's been fun, and it's been real fun as always. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been great. Please like, share, subscribe, and make sure you check us out on wardradio.com. Sign up for the newsletter as soon as